Welcome to Habitual Maker. I'm James, and today I'm going to be making a Ottoman style stool for a little girl's vanity. Granddaughter's uh, vanity came with a little stool. Is really crappy particle board, and her little brother decided he needs to jump on it, so it's no longer a stool. So I'm going to build her a nice little stool, and I actually used Fusion 360 and got me a parts list. Aren't you proud of me? So I'm hoping that it'll go quick and I won't have as many mistakes as I usually do when I'm just winging it and figuring it out on the go and having to cut things multiple times. All right, got a little carried away, got into the groove of things, started cutting stuff, forgot to film stuff. I got all my lumber milled up. This is all Douglas fir 2x4. I've had them for a long time, so they've acclimated to the weather. They're done doing what 2x4s do, and when they're this small, so you kind of just cut in between the knots and stuff like that, and try to get the best pieces that I could. Went ahead, round over one corner of the leg, and then on the inside, I didn't quite go all the way up. That way, how it doesn't matter, but to me it does matter. I don't want this rounded when the rail comes here, and I'll probably just sand that to make it blend. So that's where we are right now. I did not think about how I was going to do it. Pocket holes is probably the easiest, but I'm not a big pocket hole fan. I have this joint mate dowel Milescraft thing. I've never used it. Thinking I might give it a shot. I gotta check and see if I have the dowels. These aren't very big, so, and I'd want two in each one, so I'd probably have to go put the quarter-inch dowels. This was so helpful. I cannot believe I did not do this before. If you don't know how to use Fusion or SketchUp or something to that extent, I tried SketchUp. I ain't knocking it. It didn't click in my head. I tried Fusion. It made sense to me. I did take CAD when I was in college, so maybe that's why. SketchUp just it wasn't working for me. Just didn't click with my brain. Like I said, not knocking it, just not for me. I do like Fusion, and then there's some add-ons to it. This Open Bomb is really nice too. And if you watch the videos, there's people who will explain to you that when you build it, if you build it in a fashion, naming things and making components in a certain way, doing a lot of copying, it'll actually give you a bomb that's even more precise. It'll be 4 of these, 3 of these. I didn't have that because I built it and then tried to figure out this open bomb. So I had to go, okay, I got 4 of these, I got 2 of these, I got those. It was still incredibly helpful though. I can just sit there, mill the stuff away, don't do it. I'm looking at, well, I don't know what time it is. I'm gonna guess I spent 30 minutes milling this up. So I have decided that I'm going to use dowels. I hope that's enough. Now I'll have to go to the store. And I'm learning how to use this, reading the directions in my little thing here. It's so small that I added 2 the same size just so I have some more um, meat to put this on. Put it on this side and then just go, maybe we can go from here. It doesn't really matter if they're perfectly centered because you kind of put it on a dowel afterwards. Like you line up a dowel and then it's hard to explain. Read the directions, watch a video. Uh, I'm sure I'm going to mess it up. I hope not, but we'll see what happens. I did, lay out the centers of where I want them, and gonna go from there. Got my, I thought I had collets to, or I think it's called a collet to a stop. I don't know where they're at, so back to the old paper towel or a paper towel, blue tape. So I'm gonna go give it a shot, and we'll start with this one right here. I got a little X. Put that over the X, and Mm, not too bad. This drill maybe is better. Um, just so you know, you're actually supposed to cock this thing like this, and then it helps you find the center. But my board is only so small that I really can't do that, except for in a couple spots. If there was the whole side, then it would work, but I don't. So I'm just doing it this way. I found the hole. I set this, and then you're actually supposed to set this to find the next holes. But I'm doing it this way, and just to kind of help me as a guide. So far, so good. So what? Anybody else listen to Megadeth? So I read the directions correctly. You stick these in here. Actually, probably need to undo them. I do one at a time. Why does these different links? Okay. Anyways, so the directions say that guess you only do one at a time. You lay this out. Let's see where I want this to be here. So it's gonna be like this. So it says you're supposed to stick this over there and then adjust this. Well, I don't really need to adjust this because that's how I got the hole in the first place. So then you lay it here and then you line this up, this little hole there, and then you slide it all the way forward and then you drill the hole. But I think I should probably get some clamping going on here because this looks a little hokey. Now, if this was like sheet material, which is like kind of what they show um on the directions, it would be way different. But and that's gonna want to rock. Hmm. Let's try this instead. So I'll leave it like that. Put this down here, slide it in. I still want something to keep this square. Hmm. There's clamps everywhere. You think I know where any of them are at? Oop. Yeah, I don't know if I like this. We'll see. It definitely isn't as smooth and easy as the instructions videos, but we shall see. And then you slide that up. You pull this out, put it in the other one, do the same thing. You got like next to no meat here. So let me grab another leg, stick it here, just so I got something to lay this on. No, that doesn't work. The trials of having a small shop. So we'll try it this way. Get the meat I need, slide it over there, make sure it's nice and square, drill the hole in it. Let's see what happens. Put one in there, and we'll put one in there, as my father would say, in there, and slide it over. Huh, not the best. Not too shabby. It's a little cockeyed. Sorry, that's not a politically correct term to use. So I'm a little off to this way a little bit and a little this way. Let me see if I can show on the camera here. So what you see, just ever so slightly, right there, ever so slightly that way, ever so slightly that way. I am not happy about that. Not knocking this. I mean, obviously, I'm doing something that's not even in the directions. It's like, sheet goods and stuff like that. It's like the Craig's jig. They show you the basic stuff. But this, yeah. Hmm. You know, it's not horrible. Nothing that sandpaper can't take care of. It's almost like they're drilled at an angle. Because they flip the screw, the board, and it's the same way. Hmm. But it's not at an angle because there's no gap here. So, well, that's what that is. And I'm going to put you into that time lapse mode. And you can watch me. That way I can listen to this music. Okie dokie. Total transparency. I did this and I didn't really like it. Well, big issue is it's supposed to be like this. It's actually supposed to be a little bit of a reveal. So each leg, the runners actually set in. And this is supposed to be there. So I tried fixing it. I I used the little I don't know if you saw in the slow-mo, those little pointer things. I did that. And the exact same thing happened. Maybe me and Dowels just need to stay away from each other. I talk crap about Old Faithful here, but here I am using it again. This is actually one of the first things I bought when I decided I wanted to start getting into woodworking after many years of not doing it. And this is it. And crazy enough, it's still like the same price. So I mean I paid too much, or is it holding its value? I digress. So just want to do that. I'm going to try and reuse these. I don't want to have to go milk some new one. I have this sneaky suspicion that I'm going to end up making 2 of these benches. Because I'm probably just gonna keep learning the mistakes. So I figured out how to make the milling of the lumber quick and easy, but I probably should have had some foresight or thought about how I was going to join these. Um, I mean, I could also just drill a hole all the way through and then put a dowel rod through it and then cut it off. I've done that in the past. At this point, there's so many holes. I don't know. So we'll see what happens. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And then I guess we only use one because the size. So when there we are, back to time lapse. Okay, I'm back. Battery died for a second. Man, a lot to recording videos. I'm usually making stuff, getting in the groove, listening to music. Now I gotta think about all these other things, battery life. So, Craig Jig, you set your depth with your on here, set your depth here. Um, the thickness of your wood matters. Um, now that I think of it, I probably didn't do it right. I changed this, but I don't think I changed this. So I'm going to have to go back and do all those again. Maybe. Maybe I'll sizzle a little bit longer with a screw. This thing it started off beautiful and it's just going into a train wreck because if I try and go back, I'm probably not going to be that whole. Let's use a slightly longer screw that I'm supposed to. Should be fine. But you do this, you can get these little adapters at the hardware store. And this is a 1/2, I think it says, to a 1 1/4 to 1.5, something like that. Anyways, then you can do a hook to your normal shot back, and getting using these with the vacuum is immensely getting the vacuum thing on is amazing. I mean, like that's tip. Um, you will have a mess the first one you do if you don't use the backhand. I didn't used to do it because I didn't have any way to do that. And then I was at the hardware store and I saw this. Yeah, it's 1/4 to 1/2. It's a couple bucks. It's worth it. So now I have all my lumber, pocket holes. Got one corner's going to get real sketchy. I'm going to pick some stuff up, cleats and stuff up because you have to clean as you go when you have no space. And I'll get back to you when I start putting this thing together. And maybe I should get this other project out of my way. So I didn't got too many things going. Too many irons in the fire. What can I do? All right. Give me a second. And do editing. It's clean. I'm not that good of an editor. Okay, so you got to remember how you're building this. And so, like, I almost did a booba. So these are the insides. So I'm gonna mark them with the it's a lot of sawdust in there. I'm gonna mark it here, mark it there, mark it here, there. And that way I know where and the direction they go. Now, not everybody needs to know this or use this or do this or however you want to say it, but I'm slow and I almost just now did it the wrong way. So these are the outsides because they're going to the prevent, and to this is the inside. So now go like this, get back, drop this wood. Either way. So inside, 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 and the way I drew the plan was this was supposed to line up with the inside gear. Logic would state I would do this differently and have the stuff actually face me. No one ever said that was illogical. All right. So there's that. Now, these things like a push and they get all discombobulated. So we're cut. And I gotta figure out how, because I put a clamp here, I'm probably gonna be in the way. I wonder. Oh, would you look at that? So, well, when it is down, yeah. And I can clamp it. A little did clamp it there, and you don't have to like wrench this. We're just trying to keep it from moving around. Very handy. Make sure they're nice and even. Pro tip, but I'm not a pro. Buy a pop the whole screws on Amazon. It'll way cheaper. And it's actually cold. It's just a pocket wood. I think we miles cost them somewhere wherever. There's two people who make them. Way cheaper than buying the Craig. But I got he's used a different bit. And do I have that bit? Well, yeah. So when you order them, don't do like I do. Make sure and get the right ones. Or the Zuko that says T20 straw drive. I should have got the square head to use this. I have a longer one too, and in certain applications, you're gonna want it because this is not gonna get into the spot. I do have a really long one of these someplace up here, but still not the length of that. And I have had to use this as well, which I can't actually use this. I'll be leaker. And that's probably why I own this long one. I don't know what else I would do. And don't. I dug it. You don't need that. I did not use glue. I'm gonna put it all together and make sure it works, and then I'm gonna take it apart, put it in, and use glue. Because really, the glue is what's gonna hold this together, not these screws. In my opinion. Oftentimes, if you look at tests, you'll see that the wood fails before the glue fails. So that tells you something. Glue is stuff. And this is Douglas first, so it would probably fail quite soon. But she's 9. She's not go-icky. Yeah. She's already at the point now where she doesn't like the way her room is decorated and them change everything because she's 9 going on 25. I love you, Mackenzie. I watch the video. I really do love my granddaughter and both my grandsons. And the youngest one, he's gotten it right there. I don't know where it is, but yeah, there's worse things you can do. Okay, my apologies. I forgot my $20 mic. So the last, I don't know how many minutes, you probably were listening to my pond. Not my pond, my kid's pond. Some koi fish and other stuff in there. I don't know. All I know is it makes a lot of noise. Koi ponds seem super cool until you have to take care of one. I don't take care of one because it's not mine, but I'm glad I don't have to because it's a lot of work. So once again, just trying to make sure everything is nice and even, as smooth as possible, and then that way everything will be nice and even up. Give them a little bit more snug. The tap tap tap, the tappity tap. Mm. Well, my battery died. Back in business. All right. Okie dokie. There's those. Now, I'm going to do the sides. With those. These. Really starting to wonder if I did it too narrow. I measured the one she had. So don't shoot me. 11 deep, 15 wide. You can get all these, four of these, get all of them lined up nice and even and all that good stuff. And then snug them up one last time. And then, and no, and then, and then, no, and then. You guys probably to watch this far in the video. I really appreciate it because you're like, no one watches my videos. They watch videos of my turtle. He's not really mine. I just allow him to live here. I mean, I didn't evict him. He just showed up, decided he wasn't leaving. So I would show him to you, but it's like wintertime. So like he thinks he's hibernating, but he's hibernating underneath that wood. Luckily, it's Tucson, doesn't get cold. So he didn't have to like dig a hole. I mean, he has plenty of stuff to do, but he chose that. He usually sleeps under that, but he decided he was going to hibernate underneath the wood. Maybe the wood is make him feel more at home. I don't know. Make sure all this is even Steven. You have your, for those of you who don't actually do woodworking and are watching this to try and learn something and not just laugh at me because you're a superior woodworker to me. Those people, if you leave it slightly, not super tight, you can ever so slightly just tap your wood into place, and then you go there. And you don't, like I said, you don't have to have it super, super tight. You're just holding it so it does stuff doesn't slide when you're doing your screws. So easy peasy. And now you see why you need a super long one. And I am not getting to this very well. Woo, doggy. You see that? That is the story of my life right there. So let's see. Let's do the daisy chain. Haha. You guys thought I was crazy. You were right. But I still get this stuff done. So I always say it in all my videos. Most people don't watch them, but hey, yeah, I'm still new here. I have a golden retriever eating sawdust. Look at this dog eating sawdust. Oh, now he knows I'm onto him, so he's gonna act like he doesn't know what I was doing. He was eating sawdust. He's got a bowl of food. Animals. That one showed up and he was only gonna be here for an hour. That was like 3 months ago. Do I complain? I have uh, a KC papered golden retriever. I didn't pay for it. All right, now you can't see my head. Okay. All right, back to it. I got that one and that one. I got two more. And then it's going to be a bunch of, I got to do the cross braces and then um, a lot of sanding and a lot of painting. Probably should have sanded these beforehand. No one said I was smart. Now, if I would have thought about this, I kind of messed this one up. I screwed it like I was going to go in like this, but it's not going to go in like that. It's supposed to go like this. Well, now it's going to have to go like this. So, well, that's something I didn't think about when I was doing the round overs. No, yeah, well, it'll work. It's on the inside. Now, you're probably wondering, how does he know these things are going to be level? I have no idea. But I did have some forethought on that. And I'm going to go get a piece of wood about the size I want it to be and stick it on there. Check each side. But I'm thinking maybe a little higher. So now I will go find a piece of wood or cut a piece of wood 5 3/4, and then I can use that as like an offset. That dog is eating more sawdust again. He's all over his nose and everything. Hey, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, you're getting too big because you see his nose? You see his nose? Solder. Okay, I'm back. So I found some scraps, cut them by 3/4, and I made sure I cut them at the same time. So then I know that they're exactly the same. And so even if they're like slightly over, slightly under, it doesn't matter. They're the same size. And this is not a precise dimension. So it does not matter. And then I'm going to put a piece of wood here and clamp it. That way I can push this and I know it's aligned. Because if not, this spreader bar, whatever you want to call it, the runner brace will not meet. Still not sure I like these squeeze things. I got two of them, but I mean, I use them a decent amount. They just don't seem to get very tight. I guess that's not their purpose. So they're supposed to be like quick and dirty. Now I need to actually lower this a little bit so I can actually get to my screw hole. Probably should have thought about that. These are the things that happen to me all the time. And so I'm not going to edit them out because, well, two reasons. It's probably funny to somebody. And the main reason why I started this channel is like, you don't have to have the biggest shop. You don't have to have the best tools. You don't even have to have a plethora of, knowledge. Uh, just a little bit of safety knowledge. Don't hurt yourself and you go at it. You don't have to buy the best wood. Um, I treat hardwood like it's gold. I'll save every little piece. It's expensive, and I have other things. I have 4 kids and 3 grandkids, I got stuff to do. Um, and I can make this out of oak, poplar, whatever. My granddaughter doesn't care. She wants it white. I mean, I could have probably made it a little bit more durable with a better wood, but once again, she doesn't care. And by next year, she probably won't want it. So it is what it is. But she'll love that I made it for her because she has no idea I'm making this for her. She just thinks that she doesn't have a chair now. So, you know, you can build stuff for yourself, do whatever. You're probably not going to save money. I'll be honest with you on that. But, um, I mean, I guess technically, because you can't really go buy another one of these for the price I'm paying. But you you just feel better about yourself when you do stuff like this. I personally do, anyways. I like being able to make stuff, and then you can make stuff that, like, you can't always buy, and that's kind of cool too. And your family will think you're a hero when you do stuff. You make them stuff, and my channel's not just woodworking. It's a little of everything, and I don't always do it perfectly, but my wife's usually happy, and that is really all that matters. You know what they say: happy wife, happy life. So I really enjoy doing it, and if you're interested in doing it, give it a shot. You don't have to have thousands and thousands of dollars of tools and all this. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say to if you've been thinking about it, you've probably been watching videos, you probably have some idea of what's going on. So, you know, you can learn and learn and learn, but until you just do it, you're never really going to learn because you're gonna make stupid mistakes. Um, you're gonna remember, oh, next time I need to plan for this, or next time I need to plan for that. I used to just start cutting up wood. I'm like, okay, it's 15 inches by 11 inches, and so I would cut 15 inches by 11 inches. That doesn't work because now you have something that's either deeper than 11 inches or wider than 15 inches. Didn't think ahead. Okay, now I gotta go back, figure it out. You know, so calms me. I guess you could say. I think it's Whitworks. I believe it was him saying that woodworking is what kind of saved his health because he was stressing out too much because of his job. I can see that. Jobs can be very stressful. Now, I used to have a garage to do all this stuff in, but my wife has a business, and the business grew to the point where it needed some storage space. So I bought this little tin shed initially just to store my tools, and then realized I could try and make it into a shop. I got the back porch, and it's worked out all right. One thing I can say about that is no one's tried pushing me out of here. No one's jealous of it, wants to steal it. Who have fantasies of having nice big shops. I'm really bad with names, but the guy who used to play football for the Steelers, I like totally want his shop. Watching his videos earlier too. Um, I have this condition called CRS, as Jasper makes. So it's just do it. I think the guy from Down Under does talks about that too. Just start doing it. Start with what you have. It's really all that matters. I don't know why I still have these clamps on here. Things been screwed together for I don't know how long. That clamp hates my guts. And that's another thing too. Don't get wound up in, having, I guess, keeping up with the Joneses. Gotta have a Pika pen. I know somebody who has one. I used it. I'm not buying one. These you get after school starts. You buy a box of them. They're like on sale for like $1 or $2. And then when they're done, you just toss them. If you lose them, it was a dime or whatever. I have a nice one, but I can never remember to actually buy lead for it. Um, you can get these, I think, for 10 cents. They're okay for like doing rough sawn stuff, like you're just trying to chop some stuff up, but you just need a line to see. But when you're wanting precision, you kind of want something low that way. And then if you really want to get precise, you want to have a marking gauge. Um, Most of the stuff I do, I don't use a marking gauge all that often, but that's where we're at. So, and don't get me wrong, I want all the good stuff too. Right now, I have dreams of a bigger shop, and I really want a bandsaw. And worst of all, there's a great deal locally for one. It's like a Raycon. It's like a 14-inch one. Then we want like 450 for it, which is like a third of the price of new. It's pretty. It's a good deal. But here's the problem. I have $450. Where would I stick it? That thing won't even come in the doors. It's probably this tall. And this shed is actually on bricks to make it as tall as it is. This is like one of those little sheds, when you walk in, you hit your head. Yep, that's one of these sheds. So I put little, I think they're like 4x8, 4x6. Now I'm curious. 3.5x8 cinder blocks. And I put them on the shed and I raised it up. Um, it's not a secure place, but if you're in my backyard, you probably have other problems to worry about. So, yeah, I don't live in a bad neighborhood, so I'm not really worried too much about that stuff. Anyways, I would like a nice bandsaw, and I used to have a nice miter saw, but I had to get rid of it because I had no room, and I miss it. And I really want a track saw. Um, but I may deal with a homemade thing that works. But it would be nice to have one. But it goes back to I don't know what I'd do with it if I had the money. So it's like I want, but then reality sits in. And then I would love to have a radio arm saw. No place for it. Um, so you know, things I can get when I get a shop. Like when I win the lottery. Well, I don't like that. That it moved on me. Now, I don't know if I can get it to screw in and not keep sliding back to where it was at. That can be a pain. Oh, no. Out. Launch out. Whoa. This on here. All right, let's see if that fixes it. Turns the right direction. That helps. And it should be good because that piece of wood theoretically should have stopped it. So there it is. I am going to reuse the seat part which she has because it matches uh, the rest of her vanity. Okay, it's been 2 weeks since I last did anything with this. After I stopped recording, I took it apart and I numbered each piece, 1, 1, 2, 2, things like that. So when I put it back together with glue, it would go back together smoothly. Um, Evidently, my brain wasn't working or something. I don't know. I put this piece the other side so then you could actually see the pocket hole on that one. Um, these were turned this way instead of this way. Um, it kind of wobbles a little bit. It was together very nicely, and I didn't use glue because I was afraid I was gonna mess something up, and then I ended up messing up everything once I added glue. Um, I should have just added glue as I went. It would have been a lot better. Um, I should have recorded it because it would have been great content. Although it would have been adult only with the amount of foul language that was being used. Um, but here it is. I should have used a better wood. You know, I was thinking she's gonna outgrow it. It's not that big of a deal. I was going to do a little bit of Bondo for a couple things, but most of the things I don't really like are going to be hidden because they're up here, and oop, the seat base is going to cover all that. I can guarantee that I'm at this point, you've seen how to build it. You've also seen what mistakes to not make. I mean, I could angle this up. I mean, there's ways to doctor it, but it's just the bottom line is there's all of like, $2 worth of wood here. I might as well just redo it. I also don't like the way these are. I want them this way. I think I originally had it planned that way, and then I changed it when I was gluing it up. Don't like that. I want this to be this way. So like this way, and it'll be in, such as how this is, how the ends are. There will be a set in, how this is up here. Um, like I said, if you watch my other videos, I don't want to hide things and act like I'm the greatest and make no mistakes. I want people to see we make mistakes. My granddaughter's still going to love this. She's going to be happy she has a seat, and I'll make her a nicer, newer one, and it'll look better. So there we are. And thank you for checking out this video, and hope you watch my next video. Thank you very much. Have a great day.